Hi, I'm Ron Lawson with Dirtbike Magazine. I'm here at Crosso Domo La Trogna near San Marino, Italy. This is the entire Gasgas line for 2024. We've got motocross bikes here, we've got off-road bikes, we've got the cross-country bikes. The reason we're here is to attend the Gasgas Spice It Up Festival. This is a big event open to the public that the Gasgas Group put together to promote the new line of bikes. It's not quite like anything we've seen in the US. There are technical seminars, bike displays, accessories, music, food, and a chance for the people to hang out with Gasgas factory riders like Justin Barsha and Taddy Blazuziak. Most importantly, the general public gets a chance to ride any of the 2024 models that they sign up for. It was all free, but it filled up fast. It was a very cool event, and we hope it's the start of a trend that spreads to the US. We took advantage of all that to learn about the new bikes. Testing the whole line was a little much for one weekend, so we concentrated on the 2024 Gasgas Ex450F cross-country bike. We rode it on an incredible motocross track and on a cross-country loop that Gasgas set up. And we borrowed Gary Sutherlin, who was here for Kiefer testing, to do some testing for us as well. The EX450F, like pretty much everything in the Gasgas line, is new for 2024, but we've seen many of the bits and pieces before on the KTM line. This is the new generation chassis and motor. Gasgas is seen as the more economical line in the Austrian group, and the new models continue with that tradition. You still wouldn't use the word cheap to describe any of them, but the EX450F is $750 less than the KTM 450 XCF at $11,149. In order to shave off a little expense, a number of components are different. You have BrakeTech brakes and hydraulics. There's no map switch, and so you don't have quick shift or traction control. But all that is still programmed into the bike's ECU, so buy the accessory switch and you're good to go. The clamps are different from those on the KTM and Husqvarna cross-country models too, but they are upgraded from last year's Gasgases. They are forged rather than cast and are machined down in strategic areas to provide good clamping force without distorting the upper fork tube and compromising performance. And the fork itself is new for 2024. It's a spring version of the exact air fork. Damping characteristics for that and for the rear suspension are lighter than they are for comparable KTM and Husqvarna model. As for the chassis as a whole, it's the new frame we saw on the 2023 KTM models with Gasgas's own bodywork. It's a little stiffer in most planes of movement, and the rear suspension has a completely different design. It is still linkage suspension though. No PDS anywhere in the Gasgas cross-country line. The motor looks mostly the same as it was in 2023, but there are significant differences in the head and in the power-producing components. Gasgas has its own exhaust system, which is obvious in the head pipe because it has no resonance chamber. If you look at the overall specs of this bike, it seems very motocross-oriented. It has most of the same parts as the MC450F MX bike, right down to the 5-speed gearbox. Overall, though, the Gasgas is more well-suited to cross-country racing than its counterparts are in the KTM and Husqvarna lines. The power delivery is smoother and it's a little less fearsome. It's still crazy fast, but it doesn't wear you down quite as much. It is delivered in the mildest of the two maps that are pre-programmed into the ECU. There's still a whole lot of motorcycle there for tight stuff. It's a very good gearbox for racing, but for general off-road use, we know there's a new 6-speed gearbox in the Gasgas fleet. This should be even better. For 2024, there's an Ex450F trail bike and an ES500F dual sport, as well as a green sticker eligible EW500F, all of which have that 6-speed gearbox. We know that it's a great off-road gearbox that covers a wider variety of terrain. On the chassis side of the ledger, the star of the show is the new coil spring version of the Exact air fork. We love it. The air fork had a lot of good features. It was light, adjustable, and performed well, but it never seemed like the perfect fit for off-road. Air pressure can change in the course of a long event, and it isn't practical to have an air pump with you at all times. The coil spring version has none of those issues, and Gasgas nailed it with the settings. For choppy, aggressive riding with whoops and most off-road terrain, it's perfect. It's still a little stiff for rocks and extreme riding. That's not really what this particular bike is made for. Likewise, it's easy to stall in tight stuff, and it will overheat easily. The motor does not have the high output stator like the dual sport bike, so you would be pushing it to install an aftermarket radiator fan or even a headlight. This is a race bike, not a trail bike. It's one of the few bikes that is equally at home on a motocross track as it is on a GNCC or NGPC race. We have one of these coming to our headquarters in California, so we will have a lot more information in the near future. You can keep an eye open at dirtbikemagazine.com, on Instagram and Facebook, and we will have more videos coming, so click that subscribe button as well as the little bell so you're notified when something new comes out. And while you're at it, check out some of our other videos. There's a lot of good stuff there. Thanks for watching.